Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games Discord, as we are now playing online. Heather is actually on a Phoenix list here versus Nick on Most, a crazy brew that uses Fauna Shaman to create some value or set up some devastating combos depending on what you're playing against. Nick leading out with a fetch. Often going to have a Mana Dork here, Birds of Paradise, or Noble Hierarch. And it is a Noble. That Savannah should be tapped. And the Bloodstained Mire fetching out a Mountain. Into a Faithless Looting. So 2 cards drawn, 2 to be discarded. Get a Phoenix. And a Decision, so not likely to be another Phoenix. And a Land Grant. Land Grant, one of those free spells that you pick up in Legacy, making Phoenix just a little bit more likely to come back. Free spells definitely at a premium in a deck that wants to play 3 before that combat step. And 3 mana for a altered card. Not sure what that is. Might be a Knight of the Reliquary. We'll see if we can figure this out as this proceeds. It is something that dies to bolt as a Monastery Swiftspear crashes in for 2. Another 3 mana spell. Now Green Sun Zenith, X equals 2. Likely to get Fauna Shaman. And it is. This is a dangerous situation for Heather, as Fauna Shaman, left unchecked, will win the game. So we got a Faithless Looting, draw 2. And if Heather can play 2 more spells before the combat step, she could have quite a solid turn here. Though I don't know if it'll be fast enough. Another Faithless Looting. Oh no. I looked away for a second. Thought she'd put another one on the stack. Still just resolving that Faithless Looting. It is resolved. What is she going to do with the rest of her mana prior to combat? So far, 1 Prowess trigger. A Lightning Bolt clearing that Fauna Shaman. And no 3rd spell. So just 3 damage here. Boy, and that Land Grant feels like it would be really welcome in hand. Looks like a Dryad Arbor coming down. A Noble Hierarch. Casting another Hierarch. Can Heather have another bolt for this Fauna Shaman? Nick nearly out of gas here. Looks like he's got a couple of cards left in hand. Not going to have much to say about a Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning. But if this Fauna Shaman gets in on tap step, expect some fireworks. Dark Ritual. Into... oh, Buried Alive. Yikes. So 2 spells so far. And now Bedlam Reveler. No cards to discard, just going to draw 3. Is there a 3rd spell here to cast? We need an instant or sorcery. Oh, brutal. Swiftspear comes across. And Heather just a single spell short. That Land Grant feeling so So neglected in the bin. Even if you're kind of glutted on lands, you can discard them to your faithless lootings. Of course, you make a land drop every turn as well if you need to. You can get rid of those lands, even if land grant's not going to be spectacular. You don't even need to find a forest. Just that extra spell. I mean, I think that would have done it. I'm also curious if she has Lava Dart in the list. Grabbing a couple of Phoenixes plus 1 Lava Dart also would have been lethal, actually, I think, because he's at 10. Whew. Alright, so Nick should be in the clear here as far as I can tell. He has 5 mana to play with. He's going to discard a Eternal Witness. Oh, he's got 6 mana to play with. He's got 4 left. I'm expecting an Elesh Norn and a Loyal Retainer. This card's going to be going to hand. Is that Elesh or is that Sanctum Prelate? Oh, interesting. I would have expected Elesh Norn and then discarding to go get Loyal Retainers. Very curious. Sanctum Prelate coming down, naming 1. Land Grant, Prowess trigger. Multiple triggers. Gets a Bayou. And sending the whole team. I believe blocks likely need to be made here. No, just going to be within bolt range. But of course, bolt's not going to matter given the Sanctum Prelate. And Heather, I think, has some Faithless Looting she can flashback. Sending with just the Bedlam Reveler. Boy, I wonder if that's not main deck. I feel like it has to be. Nick during the end step here. Playing... Oh no, this is just main phasing a Green Sun Zenith. Grabbing a Quirion Ranger. And returning the Dryad Arbor to discard it. To grab Elesh Norn. Yeah, I have no idea. Why this line wasn't available before. I think it was. Alright, we've got a Noble Hierarch who's going to be able to block. And Quirion Ranger is going to untap Fauna Shaman. Fauna Shaman's going to allow the discard of Elesh Norn to grab that Loyal Retainers. Perhaps yeah, I cannot think of a reason not to have gone for this line previously. But the line has arrived. And a whole lot of damage coming across. And we should have one more attack step here. Heather scooping it up before then, as Nick takes it down. Yeah, that interaction, I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of this list not running the Loyal Retainer Elesh Norn combo in the main. It's most of what the deck is trying to do versus the creature-based strategies, and really pushes Loyal Retainer to the limits. Just getting back an Elesh Norn like that is so powerful. It's a vintage quality card. I mean, Legacy, I'll talk about Eternal playable cards all the time, and Legacy sets a high bar, but Vintage sets a higher bar, and Elesh Norn absolutely at home amongst the absolute best cards in the game. Not embarrassing at all to have that alongside Black Lotus, Bazaar of Baghdad, you name it. Elesh Norn just does an incredible job of just wrecking that bottom couple of rungs of the ladder, so to speak, for creatures. Those 1 and 2 toughness creatures makes them not even a consideration. And there's a lot of high quality cards that fit that description, from Monastery Mentor, Snapcaster Mage, as we saw here, those Arclight Phoenixes. So much shenanigans are just shut off completely by her presence on the battlefield. Really, the only negative thing you can say about Elesh Norn is the fact that it's vulnerable to Karakas, a card that I don't expect Heather will have in this list. So far we've seen like just Jund colors here, black, red, green. Swords to Plowshares and Karakas from Death and Taxes, if she was on that, do often make short work of Elesh Norn. But even just showing up can do a tremendous amount of damage, clearing the board of really the entire board presence of a deck like Death and Taxes. You could potentially save your Thalia with your own Karakas and then, bounce later, but I mean, we're stretching. It's not super likely that they're going to play an Elesh into your on-board Karakas unless it's, I suppose it's desperation. I mean, sure, if you're just going to flash her in just to wipe the board, that's not an unreasonable line. It certainly can happen. But that is not the matchup we have here, despite what the marquee says. This is going to be Phoenix trying to find a way to win faster than Nick can assemble. In all likelihood, the Elesh Norn combo, using Loyal Retainers. A card that got reprinted in the Commander's Arsenal, a really rare product that they sold a while back now. I remember splitting with, I think it was John Ashworth at a shop in Fall River. It used to be called Still Point. It's the predecessor to Game King, which is also, I think, actually in that old spot. I should get down there sometime once the apocalypse ends. Say hi. See how they are doing. That is one of the only downsides for me personally with having the store, is not getting to as many awesome locations as I used to be able to. Always enjoyed traveling around New England and being part of the scene and all sorts of different stores. But that is greatly offset by the amount of new people that I get to meet here in the store. The Sylvan Library for Heather can do some work, but not going to be as strong as it is versus decks like Show and Tell, where you can just absolutely pay 8 life twice fearlessly. Just allow yourself to draw 4 extra cards. We've got a Lotus Petal into a Thoughtseize, and this sees a pretty wide range of cards here. A Fairy Macabre, along with Quirin Ranger, Deputy of Detention, I believe that is, Green Sun Zenith, Scrib Ranger, and Noble Hierarch. So this Aether Vial looking to do some heavy lifting. Going to help not only with acceleration, but also smoothing out colors, making, you know, cards like Deputy of Detention. Good luck casting that off of just a couple of duels here. When you lead out with, it looks like Bayou. Misty Rainforest. Yeah, the Noble Hierarch also going to help. I mean, Most is a very, very greedy mana base. This is coming from someone that's played 12 post recently. I would say this is an extremely greedy mana base, a lot of different colors. And Aether Vial can do a lot to help out. It's wild to think of how good Mirrodin block constructed was with Artifact Lands and Arcbound Ravager and Aether Vial when that came out. I mean, they really pushed the power level, and we are still using those cards today. You got a Chain Lightning clearing the Noble. And end step putting in a Quirin Ranger, which will also help with mana a bit. So Quirin Ranger can return a forest even without much other reason than to just replay it. That is a thing that happens often in Pauper. Sometimes you'll just have a one-land hand with a Quirin Ranger and you're fine. Like, you're just basically playing with 2 lands for the entire game, even if you just have that one land in your opener. Totally fine with that. Deputy of Detention. Gonna get that Sylvan Library out of there. And it looks like Heather's life total very low. It looks like she may have actually been paying some life according to these dice. It's actually possible that she could be at 5. I'm not entirely clear how that would be possible. And if she kept 4 cards, it'd be 12. I'm not sure where the rest of the damage would have came from. Plague Engineer, it looks like. No? No, not Plague Engineer? I guess let me know in the comments what that card is. It looks like Plague Engineer, but I guess it's not, because that Quirin Ranger did not go away. A Green Sun Zenith, X equals 3. For another card that I don't know. All right. Now, Wizards of the Coast did just buy a software platform that supposedly has card recognition built in, so that will be interesting to see if we can get that to work. We've got Buried Alive for triple Arclight Phoenix. Oh, and needing to pass the turn? Yeah, 3 Phoenixes. One of them gets exiled. Boy, I am not sure by what. Let me know in the comments. This is actually mystifying me. I am not sure what that card is. Kind of looks like Kinian, but I actually have no idea what that card does. Oh, you know what? I bet you I've got one right here. Now the person picked it up. We did give away a foil Kinian at our door prizes. But we've got a couple of lightning bolts. Oh, and Fairy Macabre stopping these two Arclight Phoenixes. Another lightning bolt to the face. And that is going to do it. So Nick, having access to that other Fairy Macabre, shuts down any type of Phoenix shenanigans, as most actually able to just disrupt. I mean, really, the Sylvan Library was the life loss, but at the end of the day, losing all of those Phoenixes just going to be a bit too much for Phoenix to overcome. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.